In this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you out with a concept that we call setting up for success in capturing kind of the perfect candid moments with beautiful light, beautiful compositions, and so forth. What's up, everybody? My name is Pi, editor-in-chief for srlounge.com and contributing editor for fstoppers.com. Now, in this video, I want to talk about setting up for success, but before I get into that, I want to talk about why we basically teach each of our photographers this kind of, I don't know, what if you want, philosophy when they come into the studio. A wedding day is something that happens once in a lifetime, okay? This is a rare event, and I don't want to take pictures that just look like everyday snapshots. I want them to look unique. I want them to really show off the day, and I want them to be fantastic keepsake for the clients. So this means I want to set up for success. Tip number 1, prepare. Prepare simply means to have the right gear with you, not only for the day of the shoot, but also in the right moment or in that moment. And for this particular shot, we're in bridal prep, and so one of my favorite setups for bridal prep is a 50mm or an 85mm prime on the camera. I have a 5D Mark III. This is the 50mm 1.2L. I shoot around f2 typically, and then I also have a flash mounted. This is a just-in-case flash, okay? Meaning that if I can, then what I'd like to do is set up lighting so that I have good light for every type of journalistic shot that I want. But sometimes someone just comes barging in the room and they go, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. And I have to get that shot, and they might be placed in an area of the room where there's not good light. So I have the flash ready to go on top of my camera in case I need to flip it on and just get a quick shot of something journalistically, okay? So I'm prepared. Tip number 2, and by the way, if you guys have watched Photography 101, you might remember this PLAN acronym. The PLAN acronym comes from the Photography 101 workshop, where we talk about how to set up for candid moments. So tip number 2 is to lock in. We lock in our settings. Now let's take a look at the settings for this shot because it stays that way throughout. We are at 1/200 of a second at f2 and ISO 200. Okay, we're shooting manual, so that way it doesn't change throughout the sequence. I want everything to look uniform, to look nice, and to look beautiful. Great, we've locked in our settings. Tip number 3, anticipate. Now, in anticipating the moment, if you're shooting sports in action, then you anticipate where the action is going to occur. With a wedding, you can't necessarily anticipate everything. So what we like to do is basically place, okay? So for a wedding, we will place the subjects in an area where we want them based on the light. For this, the bride says, I want to basically get my daughter tying my sachet, and then I want also to be able to tie her and help prep and so forth. And I say, beautiful. I know that they have such an amazing relationship, her and her daughter. And same thing, this entire family is so tight-knit, and I want to capture those elements and that emotion in the wedding day. I want it to look perfect and look beautiful. So I say, wonderful. Let me just place you right here. I'm going to have you guys basically standing in front of this window. And in front of that window, we have beautiful light coming through. We have the bed cleaned up. Again, this kind of falls into that whole prepare thing. We had someone come earlier to clean up the bed. We move things in the room to give us room, to give us space. Everything is ready to go. Then all I do is I put them into that place, and basically comes tip number 4, which is the now moment. And the now moment essentially means, well, for a wedding, if I place them in that scene, I'm just going to cue the action. I'm going to say, okay, go ahead. We wait for that now moment, we start shooting. I'm going to add one tip onto this, which is move, okay? Move basically your angle. So don't just stay in one place the entire time. Move the angle so that way you can capture unique angles all throughout and get different elements of the story. And we're going to go through this little set of images and talk about it. So that is the PLAN acronym, well, PLAN M, because it's 5 tips and we just added move. So here's the first shot. She grabs her little belt sachet thingy, and she looks right up at mom, and I go, oh my gosh, that's beautiful, that's gorgeous. And for the most part, I'm not going to talk, I'm not going to do much, except for maybe now and then I might give them a little bit of instruction if something's not quite right, okay? Let me go on to the next image. Beautiful. She comes in, and this is all occurring naturally, guys. I'm not saying, sometimes if it doesn't happen naturally, I will say give your mom a hug. But this was happening in the moment. It was so beautiful. There's only one small problem. I can't see the bride's face. So what do I say? Hey, Steph, just move your veil back just a little bit. She moves it back. They embrace. Again, I don't want to be interrupting what's going on. I just make a small adjustment there. Beautiful. They look up at each other. Oh my gosh, that looks fantastic. Again, capturing those different moments, and I'm firing through here. This is absolute gold. This is photographer gold I have stumbled upon. Okay, now I start to move. Okay, so I'm moving around a little bit, and we're just capturing different angles on the same thing. I want to get, one of these shots basically has a little bit of less bed, a little bit more of the frames in the background, and so forth. This occurred so fast that it was over by the time I moved to this position. Next, okay, I want to put her sachet, her belt on. So again, same thing. Daughter steps in front, mom goes behind, and that's it. And I capture this beautiful shot with them kind of silhouetted in the window. Looks fantastic as they're adjusting. Again, I'm moving my angle, moving to the side. I capture the daughter's face. I make one small adjustment. Hey, look up towards me for 1 sec. Give me a little smile. She does that as mom is kind of fixing the belt in the background. Again, I don't want to have a ton of involvement here. I just want to make small little changes to help get the exact shot that I want. I move behind to get mom tying this little bow in the belt. Beautiful. I'm thinking about I learned this a long time ago from Jared Gionis, who always said, whenever you're shooting, think about the album. And it's a fantastic tip because when you're thinking about putting together a layout or a spread in an album, you need to have multiple images that capture different points in the story to make a really powerful album layout. So that's what we think of. We think about the finished product. And I always say that. Think about whatever your finished product is, no matter what you're shooting, and shoot to that. So I move to other side. Now I'm with the light, and I want to get this more of a portrait, kind of a candid portrait of the daughter looking at me while mom is tying the sachet. And then I say, just turn around and hold hands for 1 sec. They turn around, they hold hands, and naturally they just start smiling and giggling and goofing. And after a minute I say, okay, just lean in, give each other a little peck on the lips. And mom and daughter lean in smiling, and they give each other a little peck on the lips, which looked absolutely just perfect. It's this final shot right here. So this is what I'm talking about with setting up for success in each scene. We use the PLAN acronym. We set up, we prepare, we lock in, we anticipate, and we cue the action basically. And on a wedding, we teach our photographers that sometimes these moments, they don't just occur on their own, okay? You need to coax them. You need to help them. You need to put them in the right position. Hopefully this video helps you all out in understanding how we set up for success. How do we capture these beautifully lit and composed yet journalistic moments that occur throughout the busyness of a wedding day. Hopefully I'm going to see you all out in F-Stoppers, Bahamas. Again, be sure to register if you haven't already. The class spots are filling up quickly, and I think we're already down to less than 20 seats available. Okay, guys, so get your spot. It always fills up way before the actual class date, and we have people that want to get in, and I feel so bad. And I'll see you guys out in the Bahamas. In the meanwhile, if you guys want to learn more, be sure to check out the SR Lounge store or the F-Stoppers store for more of our Lightroom education, our photography education, and so forth. My name is Pi, and I'll see you all in the next video.